Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Love. I see Mike, Anita, Natalie, Sandy, Dr. Chand. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Love. Let me share. Let me share the beautiful schedule. 1 second. Oops. Look how gorgeous. So beautiful. I love this one. I loved all the colors of the clouds. Really gorgeous. I looked at it for a long time. Beautiful. We have a Shabd by our dear sister Anonymous, and it's the title Jo Mange Thakur. Whatever I ask of you, my master, you grant me. Wow, I'm looking forward. And then we have the Spiritual Radar by our dear Dr. Chand and Sister Sunita. Then there is an introduction by me. And we have, after, a talk by our dear sister Harinder Ji. And the topic is Sawan Sage Stories. I'm looking forward. Then we're going to listen to our Holy Father, Ishwar Puri Ji, and we're going to melt in his love. I wish you a holy satsang, full of divine love. So let's start the holy dance with our dear sister Anonymous.
Radha Swami to all. Bani Guru Arjan Dev Ji. जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले इहा उहा सच होवे नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले इहा उहा सच होवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे चतुर दिशा कीनो बल अपना सिर ऊपर कर धारे ओ चतुर दिशा कीनो बल अपना सिर ऊपर कर धारे ओ कृपा कटाक्ष अवलोकन कीनो दास का दुख बिदारे ओ जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे हर जन राखे गुरु गोविंद राखे गुरु गोविंद हर जन राखे गुरु गोविंद राखे गुरु गोविंद कंठ लाए अवगुण सब मेटे दयाल पुरख बख्शिंद कंठ लाए अवगुण सब मेटे दयाल पुरख बख्शिंद जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले इहाँ उहाँ सच होवे नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले इहाँ उहाँ सच होवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सोई सोई देवे सोई सोई देवे राधा स्वामी जी, thank you for the seva.
Thank you to our dear sister. That was so peaceful and so beautiful. I relaxed just listening to that beautiful voice. It was very soothing. Thank you so much. We look forward for more and more and more seva. Now I welcome our dear brother, Dr. Cham.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It was a wonderful Shabad. Jo mange Thakur apne se soi soi deve. Here I would like to add a point, Whatever the soul needs, the master gives that. Not whatever the mind wants. Because it is only for the soul, this particular Shabad is for the soul only. That whatever the soul needs, the Almighty gives all that. And what soul needs? It is that love. Because he became from one to many for want of love. So it is that love, which he really granted us. And all through, we've been experiencing this love. So we are here in this time-bound material creation to experience this love. And it's been flowing from all the stages, through all the minds, and through all the bodies, flowing to the physical level. So we've been here to experience this love. And this is the rather essence of the soul, because love comes only from the soul. And the soul of the master really helps you in a very different manner, because it pulls. And what happens, what we do, that we fall in love. So where do we fall? We start falling into the lust. Then we fall further. At the level of the mind, it is lust we are falling in. Then at the level of the body, we are falling into sex. But this love needs to rise in, because that love is flowing downwards and outwards into the world through the senses of the body. Then that love keeps on, loving the material things here. My property, my children, gets converted into attachments and keeps on flowing down, down and down further. And it starts liking all those material things here. But once we start rising, and then we got to rise above, and rising above is caring. So what we got to do, that we must do this love. We must deliver it to the humanity, loving to all the flora, fauna. So love, this is how will start rising. It won't fall, rather it will rise and keep on rising from your physical to the astral, causal, universal and beyond to Sachkhand. And what really happens, how it all happens, it is the pull of the master. Otherwise, we cannot rise above. We may try anything. This is so fathom, time and material which grips the soul here. And all these senses, they start grabbing your attention. They start grabbing your love and involve you in these senses, sensual pleasures. So how to really rise above is only through the satsang. And through the satsang, the coincidences and incidences will happen, because to go to the satsang is like a seeker. If we become a seeker, then we go to the satsang. And that is how we start getting those coincidences and incidences where we meet the master who really loves us, and his love only can pull us out of this time and material gambit, which keeps us involved here. And to do the longing for this pull, we got to look at the master's eyes, because the spirituality is received and it is given through the eyes only. So we are always crying to have that darshan, to look at the master, one glance. I remember those lines, Kali kali meh bekhab ho jati, means each small little bud on the plant, flowery plant, kali kali meh bekhab ho jati, means each bud will get into the dream. It drowns into the dream of love. Kali kali meh bekhab ho jati, patti patti gulab ho jati. Each leaf of that plant will turn into a rose. Patti patti gulab ho jati. Tune dali na main fishan nazare. Means if you would have given those loving glance, it would have made me rise. Tune dali na main fishan nazare, varna shabnam bhi sharab ho jati. Means those, dew drops in the morning you see on the flower, all would have converted into a beautiful wine that would have made the whole cosmos, into intoxication. Kali kali mein bekhab ho jati, patti patti gulab ho jati, tune dali na mesh pesha nazare, varna shabnam pi sharab ho jati. Means it is only that glance of the master. So that love which really pulls. So today's spiritual radar has talked about the love, and that is what is unconditional love, which is caring. And if we can really do this love to the whole humanity, because we became selfish, and now we got to become selfless, because love is unconditional. That's what is real love, which is caring. So today's spiritual radar talks about love, and we must love each other and the whole humanity, at the same time the whole flora and fauna. We must be in love all the time, and that's the way to go back. Thank you very much. I have explained about love today, and Sunita is not coming. She is planning to go to look after her mother in her own village, possibly. So she may not be there for another 2-3 days, I feel. And that's how I will have to do the remaining part. Sometimes I may sing some of those lines out of Sar Bachchan anytime, whenever I'm asked for. Thank you very much. Over to Michael. Carry forward the program. Thank you.
All right, we have Harinder, you want to be after me or before me?
I want to be after you. I'm clearing my throat, little bit sore throat today. Having
Okay.
tea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get my satsang from Master's picture. I look at his beauty, I look at his eyes, and I try to say something to describe the undescribable, to say some few words that really cannot describe the beauty of the Master, the glory of the Master, who Master is. We're just so small compared to that divine love and divine wisdom that exists in our Holy Master. And this morning, I was listening to a satsang from Abu al-Ata al-Iskandari, which was a perfect master, a total one like 1,000 years ago. And he has a few books. And I was listening to someone who's describing, who's trying to really analyze the sayings of this great man, of this great master. And when I opened there, what was coming to me was about divine wisdom. And he was talking about the levels of divine wisdom and divine knowledge, and to whom it is given from God, and the level that it is given, and the level that can be digested by the seekers. Not all divine wisdom can be given because it won't be able to be digested, as what he says, that everyone is on a different level of spirituality. That's why when we look at the divine plan of Lord God, we see many teachers, and all these teachers have their students, just like every shop has its customers, the same thing. All the spiritual teachers in the world, they have their own students, and their students are at different level from other teachers. And it's not about just Sant Mat. Also, there are steps before Sant Mat, which are religions. So people start loving God maybe through religion first, then they move on to loving of the deities or spirituality. Some move on to science to try to explain the mysteries of creation through science. And then some even go to a higher level where they go to rishis, munis, avatars, and they try to learn more and more. And that's like a high stage of spirituality, to follow an avatar or a rishi or a muni who tells you to go inside, but might not give you the highest spiritual level. It's so funny that when we look at the world, that people can really understand so much from the mental world, like making airplanes and rockets and going to other planets, and so much deep science. Yet the science of love, which is so simple, and looks to the lovers of God who have been meditating for years, that it is just common sense and it is so simple to follow. But very few follow it, very few understand it, very few understand it. They may understand how to make airplanes and rockets, but when you talk to them about just the few steps of love and just describe a little bit about love and what love is, then they look at it as something primitive. I remember, I don't know if I told you that story, but I had a neighbor when I was a child who was a genius. And I remember when we were in high school, he built a jet airplane that could fly on jet, and I was mesmerized about his genius. And I remember when Santakar Singh came to California, I invited him to come there. It was a beautiful place on the ocean. I think Santa Monica or something like that. I forgot the name. But Master came there. It was like a college on the ocean, very, very, very beautiful. And I remember he drove all the way like 4 hours just to come to see me, and I told him about Master. And I remember after Santakar's talk, he said, "But it is so primitive. What he's saying is so primitive." And I didn't understand what's primitive about love. I didn't understand. So I remember when Ishwar Puriji came in my life, I sent him some sophisticated scientific talks from Ishwar Puriji about spirituality. I thought maybe this will, since he went to Harvard, I thought maybe this he will like this, but I didn't hear a reply. And why I didn't hear a reply? It's because spiritual knowledge, divine wisdom is not for everyone, not for everyone. It is only for the very few elect. The very few elect can really understand it and digest it. And the very few elect also, they're given in doses. They're given this divine knowledge in doses. That's why also in Sant Mat, there are many teachers. Um, and, and the teachers there also have different types of students, and their level is different. And just like Ishwar Puri Ji says, if you keep seeking, you might graduate one teacher to another teacher who might give you more divine knowledge and more divine wisdom. It is very, very, very interesting to understand, and I got only to understand it after many, many years of being on the path, that divine knowledge, divine knowledge and divine wisdom is given in doses. And the reason for that is the ability of the disciple to really digest and to really accept and to really live by what he gets. So sometimes a perfect master might have an audience and he might be giving a talk. Some people will only get very little of that talk, or they will understand on their levels, and others will understand much more, and others won't even listen to the words that he's saying, but to the knowledge that's coming out of the love, out of the aura, out of the vibration, as the master emits vibrations. He emits frequencies of holy light and holy sound, and according to the receptors, to the one who receives, it is given. It is given according to the one who receives. So he gives, and everybody gets something different. Everyone gets something different. And some might not get, maybe they will be blessed, of course, but might not understand because it's not their level. It's not their level. They're not ready yet. It's not their time to leave the three worlds. They still have a lot more time. However, they will be blessed just by being in the company of the master. Well, I also took my mom to Santakar Singh in Florida, Boca Raton, Florida, and my brother. I dragged them there against their will. I wanted them to be blessed so much, but it wasn't their time. It's not, they didn't understand what he was saying. Actually, he put them to sleep right away. He started talking, they went to sleep, both of them. I saw their head go down. He finished, and their head went up. And it was for a reason. It was for a reason, It's not their level of understanding yet. It's not their level. And what I was getting from the satsang I was listening to of Abu Ata al-Iskandari, it was about the level of wisdom that is given. And and in that satsang, what I understood is there is more than one veil. There is the veil, of course. There is a veil between us and divine knowledge. Divine knowledge is not veiled, but the veil, we create that veil. And that veil might be our desire for things of this world like power, leadership, fame, and name. It could be for lust for money, gold and silver, and riches and treasures. And it could be for lust for the human body of another person. All these create a veil. But then I heard something very, very, very interesting in that satsang of that saint that was here 1,000 years ago. And he said, this is what he said, that even the wayfarers, the seekers, who have really went above lust and anger and greed and ego and attachments, and also anything from this world, any desire or attachment of this world, they also have a veil. And he talked about that veil of light. It's a veil of light. So light, he was saying, can also be a veil for those wayfarers, for the seekers. Lights, veils of light. The others are like veils of darkness, veils of darkness. But he was also talking about the veils of light. And he was talking about the secrets of all secrets. And Nur al-Anwar, Sirr al-Asrar, he was talking, Nur al-Anwar, the light of all lights, the secrets of all secrets. He was talking that this is a very concealed treasure, very, very concealed treasure. And the reason why Satpur, the ultimate creator, sometimes even conceals it from the wayfarers who went beyond the mind is this is what I heard from that satsang and what I understood, due to the ego, that he doesn't want those seekers to also fall into the ego of knowledge, that they know something more than others. It's to keep the humility. But then the floodgates, of course, he gives it to the very few elect who went and got really, really cooked in the oven of spirituality, in the oven of love to the utmost. And they are deserving of the secrets of all secrets and the light of all lights, the source of creation. That knowledge, that wisdom of that caliber is given to the total one. Is given to the total one. And it was an interesting talk that I really love, that there is also veils of light, veils of light that the seekers might also have. And it's all about just being patient and perseverant, and just keep the connection with the master. And the master really showers the knowledge that is needed to us, no matter where our spiritual step is. That once we started on the path of love, no matter where we are, whether it's our first lifetime or fourth lifetime, or whether we're in the middle or beginning or towards the end. Towards the end is not the end. Towards the end, there's still few more steps and more grace that has to come and more that has to be dispensed by the divine knowledge to us. So no matter where we are, the most important thing is to keep on holding the hand of Master, enjoying the destiny, enjoying the trip, the journey, and of course, at some point, the destination. will be reached, because everybody who's on a journey, everybody who goes on a plane has to reach the destination. And to be on the plane of Master, on the bus of Master, on the train of Master is a great, 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 very few on earth have that. And my Master Sant Singh used to say that if you're on the train, whether you're on class A, class B, or class C, even if you're sitting in the cargo where there's no air condition, you will still reach the destination. It doesn't matter where you are on the train. So some on the train are sitting in an air-conditioned place and enjoying more, maybe holy light and holy sound, and some are not enjoying as much, but it doesn't matter. The train is moving. The train is moving towards the destination. And the destination will be reached at some point. And the one who puts us, whether in the class A or class B or class C, knows what's best for us, knows what's best for us, according to our spiritual level and our karmas. Our karmas also play a big part of what the Master shows us, what he doesn't show us. And everything that we see inside or we experience inside, whether it's the holy light or the holy sound, or whether it's the inner Master, it's all by the grace of God. Everything that comes with us, to us, from inside is not due to any effort we put. Nothing. It's not due to no effort whatsoever. It all is all etched, all designed by the hand of the Maker, by the hand of the Beloved. The Beloved sends what is needed to us. He blesses us with what we need. And if we ever see anything, it's by His grace. If we ever hear anything, it's by His grace. And if we don't hear anything, and if we don't see anything, it's also grace. Everything, when we are in the train of Master, whether we see or we don't see, if He gives, it's grace. If He doesn't give, it's also grace. As there is also a door of knowledge about things that God does not give us, things that God prohibits from us, whether it's spiritual things or worldly things. He sometimes prohibits things from us. And Rumi says in his poetry that this holding from God is the greatest giving. That this holding from God is the greatest giving. That sometimes if He does not give, it is also a great blessing, because that's what's needed at the time. That's what's needed at the time. All what we have, all our responsibility is, and it's very simple, to keep holding the hand of the Beloved, to keep focusing on the Beloved, and to try our best and leave the rest. We try our best. Some people come and tell me, my meditation is not good. My meditation is not fruitful. My meditation is only darkness. And I say, if we're just holding the hand of Master and focusing on Master and trying to do our best, like we do our best and leave the rest to the grace of the Master. As long as we try to meditate as much as possible, we try to use any moment to think of the Beloved as much as possible, and any lost moment, we say, sorry, Master, sorry, I didn't fill these treasure boxes with your treasure. Now they are empty. If you can refill them, please do. I will do some extra meditation. But yes, do our best and leave the rest. Do our best, leave the rest. And doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. Whether we see, whether we don't see, whether we understand some satsangs or whether we don't understand. That's also by the grace of Master. As He lifts us up, we open like a flower, and more light starts to touch us. Step by step, the rose opens its petals and gets touched by light until it's fully open and fully gets touched totally by light, totally by light. It will be touched. So it's the opening of the heart, the opening of love, which is the most important thing. That knowledge, that divine wisdom, the secret of all secrets, the light of all lights will be given to us as our heart opens completely. As our heart opens completely, 100%, then it will be given to us according to the saints and masters, that we really have to grow to that, to be deserving of that knowledge and that wisdom. We have to be really cooked enough to really receive that knowledge and that wisdom and be able to hold it, digest it, and convey it to whoever is seeking it with utmost humility. That means those ones who have this knowledge, they lay low. They lay low. They lay very low. And they give it out to whoever asks for it. Whoever asks for it, whoever comes to ask for it, they can give it in a very subtle way. Even in a secret way, they give it. In a secret way. It could be a satsang with no words. A satsang with no words. Just through vibration, through love, through being in their aura. Through being in their aura, that person with knowledge, being in his aura or her aura, or his or her aura, their atmosphere, that also transfers that knowledge. I remember my master Sant Singh used to say that even if you come to satsang and you just go sleeping there will be an injection, a godly injection given to you from master, from the soul of all souls to you, and you will be blessed. There were so many people who were paying karmas when we were in Oregon, Manav, Kendra, Oregon. When master was there, like there was like the last time there was like over 1,000 people, and a lot of them were paying their karmas. Just I saw a person just crawl to satsang, to the meditation hall where master speaks, crawling, like she couldn't walk, she was crawling. And I saw people who were so sick that they just went there and collapsed, just to collapse in front of master, so sick. I saw so many people so sick. Some people were, it was their last days on earth. They had like cancer or very big diseases, and they just came for the blessings of master, just to be there. Maybe they were so tired, so sick, they couldn't hear what master is saying, but being there in the atmosphere, in the aura, in the company of the perfect one, there were showers and showers of blessings going to them, knowingly and unknowingly. Sometimes we receive blessings, but we don't know till later on in life what we have got. And actually, a lot of blessings, or most of the blessings that we get when we are with the perfect master, we don't know till later. We don't appreciate till later. And we don't see the value till later on in life. So much blessings come to us in so many different ways, so many gifts and so many packages, and so many different gifts are given to us just to be a friend, to be a lover of the beloved, to be in the company of the perfect master, to attend his satsang, to put an effort, to put the world next, second, and the master first. How many people really in the world will put the master first and the world second? Very few people. Most people, the world is more important. How many hundreds of times I heard people say, oh, I didn't come to satsang. I didn't come to see Ishwarji even because I had a party to go to, or because of some family members, or some people are visiting me, or I have to go do this, I have to work, I have to do this, I have to do that. Not knowing, like, oh, really? You don't know that one moment of a perfect living master is worth hundreds and hundreds of years of meditation, hundreds of years of meditation, just to be with the perfect master, just even for one moment or 1 second. Imagine how much gifts we are getting. And what are we getting from the people that we did not go to see master because of them? Nothing. We're getting nothing. Debts, and maybe more negativity. Yet if we were with the master, he would have given us so many gifts, so many gifts, so many gifts. And those gifts we can open later on in life. They might stay enclosed in their gift box, but we have got them. They are with us. They have been added to us. We will never lose them. And they will be opened later on. Sometimes they are opened years and years and years after he leaves the physical body. Then he shows us what he gave us, a very, very precious gift. I remember how much regret I had when the first time I went to see Sant, and I spent, I think, a week there. It was in October 1997, and then I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go see this person." I didn't really know who Master was. I didn't know his greatness, so I planned my ticket before knowing his greatness, and I said, "Okay, I'll go see this person for 4 or 5 days. I will stay there, and then I will go visit some friends in Oregon. They invited me, and I will go there. And then I went to see Master, and at the last day I was preparing to leave, and I was mesmerized by Master. And I remember in satsang, there were like hundreds of people there, but Master was talking to me. This is the beauty about this path. It is customized just for you and me, just for each one. Even though he was talking to hundreds of people, I felt like he was talking directly to me. As I was preparing to leave, Master says, and yes, some people are leaving me today, but they don't know that to be with me for 1 extra hour is like hundreds of years of meditation. So much gifts. And right then and there, my soul started crying. My soul started crying, and I was saying, oh my God, what have I done? I promised these people, and I have to keep my word golden, because it's, I promised that I will go there. And they were waiting for me anxiously, and they were cooking for me. But my soul was crying, and I left there, but my heart was still with Master. I might have left in my body, but my soul did not want to leave Master. My soul wanted to stay at his feet. It wanted to be there in that love. So we realize things. We know things later on sometimes. How valuable each moment we have spent with Master. And each moment we decided not to go see Master, that becomes also a big burden on us. That he appeared in the physical world for one reason. He appeared in the physical world to really fill our pockets, fill our treasure boxes with treasure, as he is unlimited giving. He gives and gives and gives and gives. He's a well with no end. He just keeps giving. And he just wants us to receive and fill our pockets, fill our godly bank accounts as much as we can, as much as we can. He wants us to be greedy with God. He wants us to be greedy. It's okay to be greedy to be with the Master. That is totally okay. To be greedy while we are with the Master, just to fill our pockets from his presence, is okay. Is okay. As long as we don't hurt others. I remember there were people who were like, fight to be in front, fight to sit in front. And no, not like that. Not like that. Everybody in the presence of the master, whether they're sitting in the back or in the front, he showers his love to all, and all get the same, whether you're sitting in front or in the back. Just like the sun comes up and the whole world is full of light. The whole world is full of light. And the same thing, when master is in a room speaking, or just sitting or silent, whatever, then he's like the son of all suns, shining the lights on his lovers. And everybody, whether they're sitting in front or in the back, gets the same sun and gets to enjoy the same love and gets to really bake in that sun. Take a suntan in master. Take a suntan in master. As that light that comes to him, just like the light that comes out of the sun gives us a tan, the light that comes out of the master also gives a tan to our soul. Really, it affects our soul. Our soul gets colored with the color of love. Our mind gets colored with the color of love. And so much rubbish is removed. We get the tan of God when we are in his company. And just really, after the master leaves the physical body, the lovers, who might even have him inside, also go crazy about any moment that they have missed the master outside. And I did have missed one time. I was supposed, master went somewhere, Texas, or I forgot where, and I bought a ticket and then I canceled it because it was the same day. It was just one talk. And I canceled it because I didn't want to get stuck, or I don't know, my mind made me cancel it. But then I really regretted it after. And from inside, I regretted it. And the master was saying, I was missing you. I was missing you there. So it's just a lesson to all of us that if a perfect one appears in our life, that means try to be in that company as much as possible, no matter what. Put 1,000 works to the side and make master's work the most important. Put everything to the side and run to the master. When my heart opened to Ishwar Puriji in 2017, I made that promise to myself, to my soul, that from now on, I'm not missing not a single moment with master. I'm either gonna try to travel with him wherever he goes. And thank God he stayed for 3 more years that I could travel with him and be with him and spend as much time with him, every community meeting. And even when he gave private interviews the day after, as in the end he was giving on Friday and Saturday. And I was going even on Saturday just to get to look at him, to be there. And I know the precious moments. I know just how much treasure is there to be with a total one. Cannot be described. And as I said before, that this treasure we will realize as we go step by step what he added to us, from the outside to the inside and from the inside to the outside. He added to us so much. And the most important thing is when the master appears outside, he's also appearing inside of us. Even if we don't see him, he's appearing outside, everything is a reflection from inside to the outside. If we have spent time with the outer master, that means inside we are also with the master, and we're enjoying that bliss inside, and it's coming outside in the form of a blessing, in the form of the outer master. So inside and outside we have been blessed, and every moment with the perfect living master is a pearl, divine pearl that is priceless, divine jewel that is priceless. Every moment. And now he left us, but He never let leave us. He's inside of us. Now he can bless us from inside. But we're also crazy for him outside. And every lover of God. I remember my master Sant Takar Singh at the Bandara of Sant Kirpal Singh, how he was crying, and was saying that even though the master is inside, but also he will do anything, just to see also Master Sant Kirpal outside again. This is how beautiful. Now we realize, and now we like it cannot be described how much we would want to be with the outer master. So yes, the outer master, the inner master, that's the blessing of God to us. That's the treasure house. And the treasure house, the divine knowledge, the divine wisdom keeps on opening to us as we go more and deeper and deeper and deeper. Our roots go deeper and deeper and deeper into the roots of creation until ultimately the light of all lights and the secrets of all secrets, that sacred treasure house of divine knowledge. We will deserve it. And once we deserve, we don't ask for. If we deserve something, my master Santakar Singh used to say, then you don't even have to ask for it. God directly knows that you deserve it. It directly will be given to us. The most important thing is that we reach an inner spiritual step where we deserve. When we deserve, he will give from his unlimited treasures. This is what I wanted to do for Seva. Thank you, Master. I welcome my dear sister Harinder.
Hello, friends. Radha Swami to all. How are you?
Hi.
Can you
I
can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
We hear
Yeah.
you loud and clear, but we don't see you. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay.
no, I'm not in the condition to show myself today. I'm having a little bit cold today. Okay. So, dear, it was wonderful. Okay. So, first of all, I'll read a little bit some lines of the conclusion of my submission by Sawan Singh Babaji. It's the conclusion. Then I will tell a story about from the book. In conclusion, he says, is the philosophy of masters. The first book written by Sawan Singh Babaji was My Submission, and then this short form in this chapter, he concludes in this way. All the worldly objects, even our bodies, are transitory and have to be left here. During our entire life, we are engulfed by these temporary objects of the world. But God is without a beginning and without an end. A human being is a combination of his body and soul, and the former is being subject to dissolution, and the latter eternal and permanent because it is a particle of the indestructible Lord. This body is for the use of the soul, and all our connection with the world are through this body. We must take care to keep the body in good health and in proper condition. But the best feature of the body is that it is the temple of the soul, and any respect or honor that is due to it is deserved only so long as the soul resides in the body. We should therefore spend some time for the development of our soul, and when we waste so much time on nurturing the body day and night, we know how much about physical sciences and about many other subjects, but we know little about our own self. When we sit in the company of the saints, we begin to realize that death is real and life is unreal. Our life is ebbing every day, every hour, and every minute, and every second is bringing us nearer to our death. This world is not our permanent abode, and we have to leave it after our allotted span is over. We should not forget our death by being engrossed in worldly activities and pleasures. At the time of death, when the activities at the time of death, when the soul leaves the body, our material wealth, and all our possessions are worth no more than a piece of straw. The only lasting value in life is to merge in the Lord by means of Shabad, sound current, because the worth of our body as well as the soul is increased when we have contacted Shabad. It is only the soul which is eternal in the body. and we should therefore make our best efforts to know all we can about it, for then alone can we know ourselves. Naam is invaluable. We should obtain the secret of Naam from a Satguru. Satguru means true master, and achieve our goal in this very life. For that will help us not only in this world but also in the worlds beyond. Human life is not easy to get, and the human form provides us with the only opportunity of meeting the Lord. Whatever the work we do with our body and with our senses, but this will not help our soul. The only thing worthy of achievement and of lasting value is the company of the saints, because through them alone can we attain Nam and thence the Lord Himself, Sawan Singh. So I loved it. I start Sawan Singh Babaji's story with paragraph written by him. So next time I will take devotion. So next story about Sawan Singh Babaji is, the name of the story is, little bit my voice is not helping me, but I'll finish it. Story of Bibi of Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi is a village, and the Bibi who used to live in Rawalpindi is the story about her. A lady is called Bibi. In the bracket, it's written in Rawalpindi city was a great devotee of Hajur. No one was satsangi in her family. Her daughter-in-law only got the initiation. She came to Dera with her daughter-in-law in order to have Hajur's darshan and satsang. Her daughter-in-law had a son of 1.5 years old. The little boy fell sick in the Dera. Then he died. His grandmother became nervous, thinking that why did the boy die in Dera when he should have died in the house? Um, when he would have died in the house at Rawalpindi, now her family members would be angry at her and they would never let her come to Dera. She put the dead child in the lap of Vidya. Vidya is her daughter in law, a lady from the Sialkot in Pakistan, and started crying. Vidya told her that she needed not to cry. She said that they would request Hajur for his life. Vidya had a firm faith in Hajur. Vidya took the dead boy at the door of Hajur's residence. Vidya is her friend. Sorry, I said daughter-in-law. Vidya is the friend of the lady. She sat there. Hajur was about to come out. Chandravanshi, a doctor and a civil surgeon, was also with Hajur. She requested the doctor to check the dead boy. The doctor said why she was asking him. He advised her to request Hajur. As soon as the Hajur came outside, he asked, tell Bibi, why are you sitting here? Vidya told Hajur that the grandson of the lady from Punjab was dead. She was crying, fearing from her family members who would never let her come in satsang at Bias. She, with her great difficulty, convinced her daughter-in-law to become the satsangi. It would have been good if the boy had died at home. Satguruji, help her and give her your grace, Vidya said to Hajur. Hajur stood quietly for 10 minutes and said, my daughter, no need of feeling of any fear. Just wrap the body with a blanket and take him to her. She wrapped the body and took him in her room where she was staying. Hajur simply told her to wrap the body of the boy with a blanket. When he became warm, they should give him hot tea. Hajur did not ask her about the little boy whether he was dead or alive. Hajur said about the little boy that he would get well. When she was in her room watching the dead boy wrapped with a blanket, the boy opened the eyes. After waiting for 2 hours, the boy was alive with Hajur's grace. Then she gave him 2 drops of tea to drink. The boy was very healthy. Today he is still alive and he's 5 years old now, like when this book was written. Hajur's grace was great. He used to give life to the dead. He used to listen to everybody's request and fulfilled it. Hajur, you were the great master. Great is your grace. No master before had been like you, and neither would be like you. So this was the story number 41. Michael, I have time to tell one more, or should I do it next time?
Do it.
Huh?
Yeah, read it.
Yeah, okay. The next story is story number 43. Benefit of physical darshan of the true saints. In this story, it tells ki when we see physically a true saint, what is the use of that darshan? Once Sache Patsha had gone to Dalhousie. It's a hill station in India. Shahenshah had an itch and ache on his back off and on. After being free from the Sangat at 11 p.m., he was getting massage sitting on his bed in the front of the fireplace. The outer doors were closed because he was sitting with no shirt so that he might not catch cold. Somebody knocked at the door at 11 p.m. Deen Dayal asked me, Kakko, my daughter, who is knocking at the door? Look, somebody has come to me bringing worldly massage. I laughed and said, You must know. I left massage and went to see outside. When I opened the door, I saw Dharamchand from Amritsar, name of the city, like the Amritsar is the city, and he was standing outside. He was very nervous. He said, Bibi, I came home today and I received a telegram from home, and it says that I should come home soon. I'm very nervous. If everything is okay at home, looking at him, I didn't even um, get permission from Hajur and brought him inside. Like as Bibi Lajo is saying, she brought her inside the room when she was massaging the back. He told Hajur about the telegram he received from home. Hajur closed his eyes and after 5 minutes he opened his eyes and said, My son, everything is good at home. There is some urgent work, but you leave early in the morning. I helped him to take prasad from Hajur. It indicates that Mr. Lajo is saying I helped him to take prasad from Hajur. Then he left soon. When he left, Hajur said to me, Kako, you must have told that you are bringing him in so that I may wrap myself with a sheet on my shoulders. My sweet daughter, saints never show their body to the someone who is keeping worldly duties. Otherwise, saints have to keep him in his company. Look, Kako, I tell you a story. Like he's telling Bibilajo a story about after this incident. The story goes like this. Hajur told, once a satsangi named Sukhdayal was my Gurbai, means having the same guru. He heard satsang from Hajur Babaji, Baba Jamal Singh. The words of the satsang were, What a praiseworthy man is he, whom Satguru gives embrace. So one day Babaji was taking a bath. He was wearing only underwear. Sukhdayal came and embraced Babaji. Babaji said, Leave me. It's not the trade of being stubborn. It is the trade of love, he said. No, I'm not leaving you, Sukhdayal said. Is that true that the lover leaves his beloved? Babaji again said, Leave now, otherwise you will repent later. He didn't leave Babaji. Babaji was very strong and he got himself released from him. When Babaji was done with his bath, he again embraced Babaji. Then Babaji said, Okay, you were supposed to get salvation in this birth, but now it will take 4 births for you to be liberated, and you from now will not be able to have my darshan again. Sukhdayal, being angry, left the place and went away. They sent a man to bring him back from the railway station, but he didn't come. After this event, he couldn't be able to have Babaji's darshan even at the time of Babaji's physical departure. When he came on the news of Babaji's physical departure, he came to railway station, but the train already had gone. He couldn't have Babaji's dead body's darshan even. Hajur said, the words of a guru are never changed, even though the whole Brahmanda changes. The seva which is given happily by Guru can only be successful. Otherwise, it has reverse effect. Then, listening to this story, I pleaded Hajur that it was not the fault of the Dharamchand. It was my fault that I brought him inside. Hajur said, laughing, Neither I am angry with you nor with Dharamchand. You were just looking at him so nervous, brought him in, and he didn't know I was sitting with no shirt on. So you both are faultless. But see, Kako, whenever the saints are on this earth, they have highest power within. The saint, if he eats any fruit from a tree or plucks a twig from it using for brushing, his teeth or if he rides on any animal or any insect dies under his feet, it quickly gets the human blood and gets out of his 84 circles of life. Blessed are those who get the opportunity to serve the Guru physically, and Guru gets his this his seva physically. It is good progress in his spiritual life. It is the benefit of meditation of his past life who can get seva of the physical body of the Guru. Guru only gets his seva from those who have done meditation with love and devotion in their past life. Listening to such golden words of Hajur, I was intoxicated with love. Hajur saying his words when to take rest, and I, Lajom, wishing his good night came out. I used to admire my luck also having the chance to hear the golden words from my Satguru. Dharamchand reached his home and came to know there was urgent work for his benefit. He was a true devotee and was reciting, "My Satguru is great." He thanked Hajur and became very happy. So, how strong our Satguru is, you know, it's wonderful stories. These are the true stories that give so much faith to us because we are all human beings. We fluctuate. So these stories give me so much strength. I read every day one story. So that's why I wanted to share with you guys. So Michael, I think I am done, or should I do something else too?
You want to read another story, one more story? That will be good.
Okay, let me find a short one then, because I
Okay.
always find short ones so that people should not go to sleep, because when the story is long, everybody has their own things in their mind going on. Okay, I will read from Philosophy of Masters, a little bit love quotes. So, Lord Krishna says, the path of devotion is superior to the path of knowledge. But amongst all seekers, I consider him to be the superior and foremost who thinks of me within himself and contemplates on me with love and devotion. The path of knowledge is also described in Gita, but at the same time, it is very clearly asserted that the path of knowledge cannot be followed successfully without the faith and devotion. O Arjun, those persons who have no faith in me, do not have communion with me, are born and die again and again in the transitory world. They do not attain salvation. Says Lord Krishna says this. And so there are so many nice quotes. If I read, I think so. Like Jagat Singh Babaji used to say, he used to do satsang only for 30 minutes because we can absorb things only up to some limit. It's been proved, like our mind is open up to some time. After that, it shuts its doors. I think it's more than enough for today. And see you next Thursday.
Yeah, we're looking forward. Thank you so much, Inderji, for
Thank
the
you.
stories. Thank you for the beautiful stories.
Radha Swami
Any-
to all. Enjoy your
yeah,
day.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Anyone
you.
wants to sing for Master? Ellen, Paula, Sarah's mom. Okay, we can play Master now if no one wants to sing.
This concludes our program, which we had for 2 days in London. And I'm very happy that I got a chance to meet so many new friends and to complete part of the job that great Master Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh had entrusted to me to share his teachings with seekers available anywhere where he desires to make those seekers available for these teachings. And you in London and Europe and elsewhere who have come here, I'm very happy that you were able to come to this place. You took off your time, you spent money to buy tickets to come here. You on this weekend gave up other activities, and I'm very grateful that you came to join me in this period of friendship and love. there is no comparison with unconditional love. The greatest thing that I have experienced in life is the unconditional love of a master. We all have love with people, but we put conditions on it. One of the basic conditions is, if I love you, you must love me also. And therefore, if I love you and do something for you and you don't, then I begin to hate you. That is not love. That's a business transaction. That I give you this, you give me that. That's not love. Love is unconditional. In the case of a perfect living master, the love flows from him to anybody who meets him. And the love flows incessantly forever to those who are initiated by him. And that love can be experienced 24 hours for those who are initiated by him. For others, when they meet, they can experience love in their hearts. Even many of the doubts we have disappear at that time. Love is such a powerful thing. Master's love is so unconditional that he will love you, whether you love him or not. If you love him, he will love you. If you don't love him, he'll still love you. If you hate him, he will still love you. If you kill him, he will still love you. That's the kind of unconditional love of a perfect living master. He is in every way like a human being like us, but in certain ways he is not. And this is one difference between us ordinary human beings and a perfect living master, that his behavior does not allow for him to hate anybody. His behavior does not allow for him to feel that somebody is separate from him. His knowledge does not allow him to feel that he knows more than anybody because he has some special thing in him. He sees the same special thing in all others. He does not think he alone has God in his head whom he has found. He sees the same God in the same way in everybody he meets. Therefore, potentially, all human beings are as great as a great master. They all have the same capability in their consciousness as a great master has. So great masters don't see people as people. They see them as a storehouse of experiences and of self-knowledge. Only it's not been open to them. They have shut themselves out, and he helps them to open the doors, inner doors, so they can see what they have. He does not plant anything into the head. It's already there. He does not say, I'm going to create a Sachkhand in your head now. Sachkhand is already there. He only helps us to realize how to see and be in Sachkhand. So that is why it's the difference. You have to spend some time with these perfect living masters, and you will see that their face, their living is like ordinary beings. But some of their actions are not ordinary because their love is unconditional. They can't hate anybody. They don't judge anybody. I'll tell you a story. A man came to Great Master one day and he said, Master, forgive me. I am your initiate. You told me not to drink, not to eat meat, and be of good moral character. Last night I drank with friends who were not friends, and they served me meat and I ate the meat. And there was a woman's orgy going on. I participated in that. I became drunkard, I became meat eater, I became a womanizer. I did not follow any of your directions. Please forgive me. Great Master said, okay, don't do it again, you are forgiven. And he walked away. Thank you, ran away. The secretaries of the Master and some other followers, senior followers of the Master were sitting near him. They said, Master, a man has broken all the vows. He has broken all the rules you laid for him. And just by saying, please forgive me, you forgave him. He said, what can I do? The man has been trapped by this thing. I had compassion for him. And then on top of it, he comes back to ask forgiveness. I had to forgive him. They said, Master, supposing he does the same thing again and comes to you, will you forgive him again? You know, Master said, almost like a helpless state, he said, you know, I will have to forgive him again. Master, when will you punish him? He said, don't put me on the side of punishers. Kal is enough punisher. His mind is enough punisher. He is punishing himself when he is coming to me. Don't make me party to punisher. Let me be a forgiver forever. It's a true example, a true thing that actually happened, and I was there to see it. These masters are always forgiving because they know we are sinners. They know that we all made mistakes. There's no exception. And if they start judging us, none of us will qualify. They have to forgive. Therefore, they belong to a different class of people when you come to know them better. Otherwise, they are like ordinary people, live ordinary lives, have ordinary food they eat. And in America, I say that if they are men, they do the normal sure. You know what is sure? Shit, shave and shower. That means they are totally ordinary. They are totally ordinary. They live ordinary lives. But their consciousness is different. They are not operating from this level. They are operating from all levels at the same time. And therefore, they can see a lot more. And also they see that everyone is part of themselves. It's part of one consciousness. It's not separated. And that makes a big difference in their actual work outside. Anger, lust, possessiveness, greed, which are called perverse passions in human beings, have disappeared in them. They will lead a normal life. They will have sex. They will scold people if necessary. They will do those things, but not with these passions. There's a big difference. They see that the whole drama set up here is one show in which they are acting. They are actors in the show. Whatever part they have, they will perform. Whatever role they have, they'll perform. They will not try to change the role. If a master is born a weaver, he will not say, now I become a master and big rich people around me, I'll take a better job. He'll keep on weaving. That's his role. Kabir, one of the greatest masters, was a weaver. He was weaving till the end. Kings, princes, rich people, millionaires were his disciples. And they would sometimes say, why don't you weave in our house, in our palace? He said, no, I have my weaving place, my hut, I'll be here. Ravidas was a cobbler. He was mending shoes and making new shoes from leather. King Pipa was a disciple of his. His palace was very close to the hut. Several times he invited Ravidas to come over to the palace. He said, no, my job given to me by the Lord is to mend shoes, and he's mending shoes. King Pipa one day said, this man doesn't come to me, but I am a beggar compared to him. He has all the spiritual knowledge. He has God sitting with him, God sitting in him. He can give anything to anybody. I should go and get special blessing from him. But he was afraid. What will the people say in the palace? What will his minister say? He's gone to a cobbler to get something. But as a beggar, he went to the cobbler. Early morning, when nobody was seeing him, quietly slipped away. He went to Ravidas' hut and saw Ravidas was awake with a lantern, little light, and mending shoes. And Ravidas said, Your Majesty, what brings you here so early in the morning? And he says, I have not come as a king, I have come as a beggar. I want your grace. I want your blessing. I want to get something that you know you have it. I have not come as a king. Ravidas said, I am very happy to hear that. Here, take a charnamat, that means holy water. And there was that little water in which he was washing that leather. to make the shoes. Already with a leather smell in it. The dirty water in a way. He took a little water in his hand. He said, take it. The king was horrified. And when he took the water, he never drank it. He allowed it to go down his sleeve of the clothes. He said, thank you, thank you, thank you, and ran away. He said, what kind of blessing have I got? He gave me dirty water to drink. I was mistaken about him. And he went and saw that the leather-soaked water has caused a stain on the sleeve of his new shirt. He immediately took off the shirt. He said, people will ask me, how did you get this stain? And he asked his private attendant, confidante, take this shirt early morning and give it to the palace laundryman. There was a laundryman who did the king's laundry. He says, take this shirt, get it cleaned, dried, pressed before the people wake up and bring it to me. So the laundryman was woken up and he saw king's shirt come and he saw a stain on the sleeve. And he said, this is a very strong stain. He tried to put some water, the stain wouldn't go. He told his little daughter, young girl, can you help me to take the stain off? And she thought by chewing on it, she can take the stain off. So she put the stain on her mouth and began to chew on it and took the stain off. And then they washed the shirt and sent it back. In the morning, the girl got enlightened. She began to give a discourse on the higher regions. She herself began to travel to higher regions overnight. And people began to gather. In the laundry room, the girl is got enlightened. And something must have happened. So they began to follow her. After a few days, the king heard that my laundryman's daughter, little young girl, has become enlightened. So he said, I did not get anything from Ravidas. Let me get from the laundryman's daughter. I am still a beggar. So he went to the laundryman's daughter in the laundry room where the father worked, and everybody got up. King has come here. And king went to the girl. The girl put her head on the king's feet. He says, no, 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 I am not a king. I have not come here as a king. I have come as a beggar to you. You are enlightened, I want some of the enlightenment. She said, King, I am not bowing my head to you for your being a king. I am bowing my head before you because all I got was from you. He says, how from me? The shirt. You sent the shirt, and there was something so special about that shirt and something so special in that sleeve that when I chewed upon it, my soul went up. Then the king realized that Ravidas had given him something so extraordinary that if he had taken that little water, he had put the whole magic in that little water, and he would have had that enlightenment also. He ran back to Ravidas. Please forgive me. I know you gave me real Charanamrit, real holy water, which could cause enlightenment to happen. The little girl got it, and I failed to recognize it. Please give me a little bit of that water now. He says, no, I'll give you an equivalent of water. I can't give you that water again because you had come as a beggar early morning. It was a special moment when that grace flowed. Now you have come and seen all this, what the value of it is, and come to me. I'll give you an equivalent. He says, yes, master, give me an equivalent. He said, equivalent is 20 years of good meditation. Do meditation for 20 years, you'll get the same thing the girl got overnight. When we hear these stories, we wonder how masters do their things. They can do in any way they like. It's not that they have to be doing a particular set way of doing things. They can do their things anyway. They carry the magic with them, and yet they behave like ordinary people. And they keep on doing the ordinary jobs assigned to them in their life. They live according to their original pralabdha, original destiny they've got. And yet, they can perform real miracles, as we have seen again and again. Every master has performed some miracles and people recognize it. Therefore, the private miracles we experience from a master are more convincing than any stories. Because in spite of hearing these stories, I still could say, like many skeptics, yes, this happened to that girl, not to me. This happened to somebody else, not to me. I can't accept these things unless it happens to me. So when it happened to me, I had to accept it. And then I felt it was not necessary to tell anybody what happened to me, because if I tell to somebody what happened to me, they'll think the same way like I was thinking it happened to somebody else. Let them have their own miracles. Everybody should have their own miracle and own miraculous events in their life. So the perfect living masters make sure they live the ordinary life. And there's a reason for it, why they do not want to change to something else. They have come in human form in response to the seekers who are on their mark list. They are doing their work according to the instruction given to them by their own higher self. These are the souls you have to pick up. They do that job. In order to do that job, with people who are caught up in the world of Kal, in the world of time, in the world of negative powers here, in order to pick them up, he has to be friends to them. If they are taken a high position in life, they cannot be friends with somebody in a low position. If they are in a low position, they cannot influence somebody in a high position if it's on the mark list. They adjust their life and career to an equivalent age or stage with those whom they have to pick up, so they can be friends. You will notice that the friendship of a perfect living master is more real than any friendship that you will ever find. Dr. Ishar Singh, whose stories I told, he would say, he stayed in my house toward the end of his life and told many stories of his own life. He said, I found my master was a friend first, yar first, and guru later. He was not a guru and then became a yar. He became a yar and then became a guru. His friendship came ahead of his spiritual teaching to me. And therefore, these masters are permanent friends. They do not waver in their friendship. Their friendship does not go up and down. They are constantly our friends and forever. That's a very big thing that you develop. In life, you don't have many friends. Those friends we have, we say are very good friends. Some little misunderstanding breaks up the relationship. But as it happens, the perfect living masters never misunderstand us. How is that? That they understand our point of view, even if it is totally different from theirs. They understand, not misunderstand. Therefore, their friendship is unending. It never finishes. Dr. Ishar Singh, the veterinary doctor, animal doctor, who got initiated after breaking his arm, you heard the story which I told the other day, also wanted that his father should meet the great master. Because he said, my job is to bring a person in front of the master, everything master will take care of. In Guru Granth Sahib, it is so written that if you have seen the face of a master, perfect living master, you are guaranteed to get initiated at some time in the future. It may be a little later, maybe a little earlier, but you will be initiated. It's so stated there. Jin Satgur ka mukh dittha, tiska lekha nibadya. These are the exact words. Their account is finished. Just by seeing the face of a perfect living master, the rest is only a matter of time when they get initiated and go on. So, my father believed in this, and he said the best gift I can give to any friend is to take him in front of the master. And then he can go. It's enough. I've given him the best gift. So his friends, he took them, and of course most of them got initiated later on. But even if they did not, he was satisfied. He gave them the best gift he could as a friend. Ishar Singh said, that's the best thing I can give to my father, to take him in front of the great master. But the father was a very staunch fundamentalist Sikh. He said, I do not believe in any Desrupi Guru or a human body Guru. I only believe in Holy Granth Sahib. And the 10th Guru has said that the Granth Sahib will be the Guru forever now, so we cannot accept any human being as a Guru. The father was very staunch about it. So he said, Dad, used to call him Bapu in Punjabi, it meant Dad, at least go and see him once. What's the harm in seeing a person? He's got a nice white beard, he's a Sikh like you, he wears a turban, he wears a kada, he is like a regular Sikh. Just go and see him. He said, no, I cannot see anybody that you are calling a Guru. I will not go and see him. He tried many tricks to bring him over. And Bapu would not go there. He said, no, I will never go and see him. I don't believe in this. Then one day he told the great master, Master, you know, I have been trying to bring my dad to you, but he is very obstinate. He doesn't want to come. He said, Ishar Singh, it's your duty to bring your dad to me. It's my duty to initiate him. You bring him, I'll initiate him. No questions asked. So he said, Great Master, can you do me a little favor? I live in Kapurthala, other side of the main road, and you live on this side, but when you go to outstation on the railway train, you go to the railway station, can I bring my father by playing a ruse on him, a trick on him, and then you can see him? He said, bring him. If you bring him, I will initiate him. So one day he found out the great master was traveling by train, and he found out the time of the train, and he went to his father and said, Dad, I have a little work with the station master at the railroad station. Can you come along with me? He said, yes, sure, I can. So they both got on their horses and they came to the station. And he said, Dad, can you hold the reins of my horse while I go and meet the station master? I'll come back and join you. He said, okay. So the dad held the reins of his son's horse also, and the son went down running to the platform where great master was waiting for the train to come. And Ishar Singh said, Master, 10 minutes more for the train to come. Will you come up with me and see my father? He's holding the reins of my horse. And the platform in Vyas railway station is at a little lower level. So you have to run up. Now there are steps made. At that time there were no steps. You have to run up a little hillock to go up. And now great master said, yes, certainly. And they both ran. And they ran up the hillock. Imagine a sight that the friend has pulled the hands of the master and said, let's run up to see the father. They both run up. But the father became suspicious somehow. There's some game going on. He left the horse and went away. By the time they reached on top, father was not there. Only his horse was loitering there. He said, oh, great master said, Ishar Singh, your father is not here. You bring him to me, that's your duty. Initiation, I will give him. And Ishar Singh said, how is the great master so confident about initiating my father who doesn't even want to come and see him? So he decided, let me really try a new method of bringing my father. So when the father was sleeping early morning, Ishar Singh bought a big rope. And you know, we have charpais, beds which are very light. And the charpai father was lying, he quickly wrapped up the rope and tied him up. And he tied him so tight, he couldn't move. He says, son, what are you doing? He says, Father, the Tonga is ready outside. The horse cart is ready to take you to the dera, to my master. What? You are trying by force to take me? You think I'll accept your master this way? By tying me up with a rope? He said, Father, whether you cry or not, now you're going. He carried the whole thing. He was a strong man, dealing with horses and camels and so on. He picked up the bed with the father, took it out. The horse cart was waiting outside. Laid the father and the bed on the horse cart, onto the dera. Father screamed loudly. So all the neighbors came out. What has happened, Ishar Singh? They had great respect for Ishar Singh. What's happened, Ishar Singh? He says, my father's gone crazy, I'm taking you to the madhouse. I am not crazy, he's crazy, I am not crazy. And the neighbor said, take him quickly. And the way he was shouting. So he took it. Father kept on screaming, trying to get out of the ropes. And by the time they reached the dera, Great Master was sitting outside on a chair. And he saw the strange scene of a horse cart bringing a man tied up on a bed, and Ishwar Singh on a horse next side. And when they came there, this man was still screaming. The father was screaming. And by trying to get out of the ropes, he had bruises all over his hands, on his arms, on his legs. So Great Master got up from his chair. Ishwar Singh, what are you doing? Said, Master, I brought my father to you. You said you bring him, I will initiate him. He said, is this the way to bring your father? Don't you see the cruelty you are causing? And father said, that's what I have been telling him. My son has gone crazy and mad. And Great Master said, he looks like a mad person to bring you like this. Take off the ropes. He told the sevadars there, attendants there, take off the ropes, put some balm and take him inside. So they untied him and he said, I have been telling my mad son, this is not the way to take me to anybody. But he insisted. So they took him inside. And Ishwar Singh was standing outside. He said, how can this master initiate my father? Look at the stubbornness which he's showing now. Then master came outside, put his finger like this on his lips. He says, now go away quietly. Come after 3 days. Ishwar Singh thought to himself, 3 days? Even 3 years is not enough for my dad to be convinced that there is something here. After 3 days, anyway, he came. He came on his horse and he saw Great Master still sitting on a chair outside and his father standing in front of him like this. He was very surprised. He rubbed his eyes. Is that my dad standing there? Of course, it was the dad standing there. And Ishwar Singh's horse, when he got off the horse, did number 2. You know what is number 2? Shit. He soiled up the road. Ishwar Singh's dad standing there took off his shirt to clean it up. He said, don't you realize you are a mad fellow in front of Satguru? You are doing this with your horse? He said, Bapu, is that you? He said, you had no idea that this is not an ordinary man. He is Satguru himself. He is Satpurush in human form. He says, Bapu, when did you find that out? He said, I heard a satsang yesterday and day before yesterday. And I am so lucky he initiated me this morning. You never told me about him. You never told me who he is. That is how Ishwar Singh got his father initiated. But now I have been informed, when I tell this story, to tell everybody not to use this trick on their fathers. It was done in the good old days, in a location where this could be done, and now nowhere else. All this just shows how the power of the mystics works differently and how they do their job, which they have to do. It is done. At the right time, they do it. So there is no difference between them as a human being, all the difference from what is inside them and what they share with us. Now I have a few people left for interview, and so the rest of you can go. Program has ended, and I hope to come again sometime and see you again in London or elsewhere, wherever we set up a plan. And I'm very grateful that you came to listen to me patiently, telling stories of Great Master and stories about other satsangis who benefited from Great Master, and also to share with you the love of Great Master that he put into me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This changes
Let's try today meditation behind the eyes with love.